hesitating.
Welcome back, guys. Out here, the Harley demo ride on the Nightster. Transmission doesn't feel amazing so far. But man, you really gotta, I can already tell you really gotta hang on this thing. This thing only makes 90. Holy crap! This thing is fast. Man, I did not expect that. That is insane. You are leaned a little bit forwards on this in comparison to like my Rebel. But dang, this thing has some pep, you guys. I ain't kidding. I can't wait to see what the Sportster S is going to be like. You really got to hang on. They should have done the seats up a little bit higher to give you something, because it feels like you're just sliding right off. Apparently this is a pretty slow ride, not going out on the interstate. Which doesn't make any sense why they do that, but yeah, the 1-2 shift on this bike does not feel great. Man, this thing's quick. Definitely needs an exhaust. That stock exhaust is, can't even hear it. It's all engine noise. Yeah, this ride is really slow. I don't know why they won't go out on the interstate. That'd be, I mean, at least do part of it and then do the rest of it in town. It's the way most of them are. But really, more of them should start doing unguided tours, because it's the way Indian did it was just so nice. Like, such a good way of doing your demo ride. Just throw the people on the bike, let them take it out. That 1-2 shift was a little bit smoother. There's not a whole lot of feel in this shifter. I haven't been able to stretch this thing's legs at all. Apparently the check engine light's already on the Pan America that's here, which maybe it's because it's a demo bike with 1,900 miles, but man, I wish they would get out of this traffic or something. I can't even hardly do anything. I will say already, I do like this bike. Fit and finish, as always with a Harley, is very nice. So, but the transmission does feel a little bit clunky. Or not really clunky. It doesn't even really feel clunky. It's more like there's just nothing. Like it's stiff, but when you're going from that 1 to 2, so far it's not felt like great. It's been it's like you can't tell what's happening. You're pulling your foot up, but it's like there's nothing there. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. Man, it's hot out here sitting at these stoplights. I can tell that this bike really wants to get it, but it's just I'm stuck in this traffic. Let's go back a little bit. That still was only like 4,000, it looked like. Or no, maybe it was more than that. But it still had plenty of like left to go, I could tell. This thing almost feels like it's doing wheelies, which is honestly kind of terrifying on a bike like this. For me, like on an upright or like an MT bike, a wheelie doesn't feel that bad. On this, it just feels like you're just along for the ride, which is kind of fun and kind of terrifying at the same time. Oh my gosh, this thing's fast. Man, I almost don't care about the fact that it doesn't have a CarPlay gauge, because I really like the tech on the Sportster S. But this thing rides awesome. Like as far as the engine, like in the power. So I really like that aspect. It's a really peppy bike. I can only imagine what the Sportster S is like. And I honestly like the Nightster better than the Sportster ergonomically, because it's pretty weird how they have the seat with the fender chopped off, and then so I like the fact that the Nightster has a full fender on the back. I want to hear one with an actual exhaust on it though. So that 1-2 shift is getting a lot better, honestly. See, the video I was watching, the guy from Harley, I think it was Chase on Two Wheels, the guy that reviewed it, he said the guy from Harley was saying to say around 7,000. We're in second going 50 and we're only at 5,500, so. Oh my. Okay, that revs really nice. That is fun. I don't know, this might be one of my favorite bikes I've rode so far this year, because the power, it's so interesting, like, and it's a Harley, you don't expect this. So this is nice. I like this bike. This is like, I'd say it's a good step up from the Rebel 500. I mean, I could handle more power. I could do like a 150 horsepower bike. Never been on anything over that. That's what my FZ1 was. and it was perfectly manageable. The Monster is but this I'd say is comparable to the Monster in the way it applies power, but it's a lot more comfortable. So I do like that better. Man, this does not feel like 90 horsepower. I don't know. This feels like it felt way more comfortable on the Monster, but I'm sure it's because on a sport bike you have that ledge behind you. So on this you just feel like you're just sliding off. But which, like I said, I kind of love and kind of terrifies me at the same time. But I kind of like my bikes to terrify me. Keeps you on your toes. And it's not like, guys, it's not like I've been going that fast. Like, I think I've topped at like 60, which I was doing way faster on that FTR. But this one just scares you when you go to get on the throttle. Oh, it's so fun. I don't know. I mean, the price is pretty high, as with all of these, and this is probably one of the cheapest bikes I'll get on today at $13,000. But I mean, it's almost worth it. The seat's honestly pretty comfortable too. The suspension's pretty good. I'm impressed. And it's not like you can't get a just as good bike for less, because this is a really good Harley, honestly, from my impression so far. So but it's not like you can't get just as good of a bike for less. But there's not many bikes with this kind of experience. I think the closest thing you're talking about is the Rebel, and I haven't been on the 1100, and I haven't been on one of those yet. I could, like, just thinking about that Sportster S with 30 more horsepower than this, and I haven't even come close to the top of the RPM range. I think I've only done like 7,500. I'm guessing it revs out to like 9 maybe, which I'm sure is where all your power is. I will say one thing they're doing pretty good is this is a nice and long ride. I sat there for a good 40 minutes when I got there. And I got there when the first ride was going out, I think. And the one thing you'll probably notice is it doesn't have that typical Harley rumble. So it's not all, which I love the sound of that red bike up there. It sounds really good. And I heard a Sportster S exhaust on YouTube. It didn't impress me a whole lot, honestly. So I'd like to hear one in person. I think it'll definitely have a much different sound than the rest of Harleys, just because of the new style of engine they're going to with a higher revving V-twin. I really don't like the RPM gauge. I wish they would have swapped speed and RPM, put the RPM on the analog and the speed on the digital, but you know, whatever. That's the thing a lot of bike manufacturers don't seem to understand is, while yeah, how fast you're going is important, it is way more important to me to know what RPM I'm at and you can barely see this, because you want to know, like, when you're going through curves, what RPM you're setting at. You don't want to be, I mean, maybe you get a feel for it after a while, but still it would be nice to have. That was like quarter throttle. Finally able to open it up. It doesn't get a crazy amount more powerful, but it stays consistent. So that's nice. It is a nice and fast bike. Nothing crazy, obviously, with 90 horsepower, like specs wise, but feel wise, it's crazy because it feels like you're gonna fall off. That's why the shape of these bikes never been really intended to go fast, and I think that's why they have you leaning forward. Man, I just might have talked myself into buying a Harley. That's stupid. So stupid. How fast, or not, just what it feels like. I remember that feeling. It's like the first time I hopped on my Victory Vegas when I was buying a new and doing the test ride. I pulled that throttle back, and man, I was hanging off those handlebars. I was like, if I don't like grip onto this for dear life, I'm falling off. This bike's a ton of fun, guys. If like, go test ride one, whatever. I'm gonna say, if I've ever put a badge of approval on a Harley, aside from a cruiser, because them and Indian are really the only place to go, because everyone knows the Kawasaki's stuck in like 2010. I like this. This is a nice bike. Now, between $9 grand, $99.99, whatever it is for the Rebel 1100, and $13 for this, that's up to you. You know, I think the fit and finish on the Honda is a little bit better than some of the stuff on here, but it's also a demo bike, and it was probably thrown together. Like, I don't like that. I don't know why that's like that. But this is one of the first models out there, so maybe that has something to do with it. Are those adjustable? It almost looks like the clutch and brake are adjustable. So there's another feature for you. I can't tell if the shocks are adjustable. This thing has absolutely plenty of power, though. Gone are the days of Harley coming out with their new bike called a Street 500 and a Street 750, and they make like 10 horsepower. This thing will get you there. That's rolling into it in 4th gear, and there's no chug-a-lug like the old bikes, because it's not the old style motor, and it's not incredibly torquey down low, but it still accelerates. I mean, pulls just fine, and this is the slower of the two. You got to remember that. Yeah, once I put it in 5th, it was definitely struggling. So you got to keep it in the right rev range. I'd say at least over 3,000. I'm struggling. I think I should probably ride the SPORTSTER just to see how it compares. But I'm strapped for time because I rented out my Rebel 500 for the next 5 days, and I got to get it there tonight. So, but I got a few hours. And we are back at the dealership. So I had a great time on this Nightster. A really fun bike to ride. I'm impressed, guys. So I will see you on the next bike. I'm going to end it here. That thing was fast, so I can only imagine what it was like on that. Did you get it on it at all?
What's that?
Did you get on it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, honestly, this actually helps.
Does it?
Yeah. Because, you know, I'm used to the R9T that has nothing.
Yeah.
You're literally hanging on.
Yeah.
This, you know, I mean, these are the mid controllers. I think on this bike, I'd actually like the forward control.
Yeah.
Because I found myself, it's like, it's too, especially for my legs, it's like, it's too stretched up.
Yeah. It's too stretched?
Too scrunched up.
Oh,
you know,
scrunched
like,
up.
Just, it's like, you know, you really, like, my leg is all the way up here as opposed to down farther. So,
yeah. That bike, the Nightster, was really comfortable, and it felt, I was surprised for 90 horsepower, which is what they say it has, and this is supposed to have 120.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Like, it was scarier to ride fast than your Ducati.
Yeah, it's easy to ride the Ducati fast.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, man.
But I also am hopping off of the Rebel 500 to get on it, so.
Yeah, it's different, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I were like, if I had to choose today, I would go with the Pan American over this one, just because I think that's over a longer distance. I think it's more comfortable.
Yeah, well, it's a completely different bike.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you like it though?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's a fun ride. I mean, I'd like to, you know, be able to ride it just how I want, you know, how I want to ride it in traffic and that sort of thing. But it's still a fun ride. You got to ride it.
The sound's not exactly thrilling.
Yeah.
In comparison to one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Compared to like you know, these two, set these two aside, everything else, you know, you have that.
Well, the Nightster, is the same engine, just smaller.
Is it?
It's a smaller version.
Right. It's like 975.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. But I love the fact that they can rev. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Versus those, what do they top out at, like 6,000, 5,500?
So. And you know, they're not really comfortable doing it either.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good ride. I don't know. Try it. And what all are you gonna ride? Like everything?
Oh no, I have to get that bike to Lafayette at by 7:30. It's like an hour and a half from my house. But I have to leave here at like 5.
Yeah.
And it seems like the rides are pretty long.
Yeah.
But I at least want to. I know I want to ride the Pan America and the Lowrider ST.
Yep.
And I already did the one that I want, which is Nightster, and I want to ride that too. And maybe Fat Bob.
So many choices.
Yeah. And the only other things I'd ride is a bagger, or maybe there's a gray bike. Oh, that's a road glide, not a.
Yeah, I think that's a road.
The lowrider's up there.
Yeah.
But I like the new street glides, but I've already been on a street glide, and I don't think it's changed much.
I have not been on a street glide.
I like the road glides better because I like fixed fairing. From a style perspective, I like the street glide better because I don't like that like kind of cab forward look almost. Yeah, I can see that looks wise, but not having your fairing connected just feels a whole lot better. Because you're not carrying all that stuff around on your handlebar.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's better.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Indian.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that side, but
Aesthetically, the street glide's a good looking bike.
yeah.
Riding wise, I mean, they're still pretty good riding wise, but that's definitely better. That's gonna feel a lot more sporty.
Did you get your name on the list?
No, I still need to go do that.
Better